Hey everyone, we're back and we're starting part 4 of SpongeBob. And in this video, we're going to take down and do the nose placement in extrusion. And then we're also going to start the mouth. I think that's how far we're going to get in this one. This is also going to be at the start of the second assignment. At the same time, we're in the same playlist. So here we go. We need to make I think this is a 40 millimeter nose. That's the one thing that's not marked on this thing. I can't remember what it is, but I'm pretty sure it's 40. And we're going to be 179 millimeters down, and we're in the middle. And then also we're going to be extruding this 100 millimeters. So getting into Fusion, remember on the left-hand edges, if you can't find your stuff, it's over there in the data panel. If you open that up, you're going to be able to find that down there. Sometimes it arranges it top to bottom or bottom to top. Mine right now is in the bottom, my most recent things. Now, with that being said, closing that up and getting started. So once again, we're starting by drawing or sketching. So we're going to go into the front. So we're flatten that face. I'm going to kind of zoom out. So I have that where I need to be. Once again, if you're not really good at zooming in, zooming out, this is the time to kind of practice that and get the bearings that way. The more you practice, the better you're going to be at it. Remember, the other thing that's kind of nice is like if you don't get it in the middle, you can push that scroll wheel down and you can pan left and right and kind of drag that down, up, wherever you need to be. If you did press that or squish that down, it works like another button. Now, we're going to go up here to create a sketch. Once again, we're going to select this front face of this square, or SpongeBob's face, and it kicks me to the kind of the side, so I'm going to zoom out and zoom back in. I think there's a way to flip that around too, so mine's kind of backwards compared to what I used to use in SketchUp. I think in the preferences I can actually flip that, but maybe I'll do that in the next video. All right, with that being said, we want to do a circle. That's the shape of the nose. And the nose is in the middle, so I kind of like to put it in the middle here. As you can see, we're kind of dead center that way. And don't worry, we can always adjust this circle after we do it. Select it, drag it straight up or straight out, and then type in 40. 40 millimeters is what that's representing. Hit enter. After that, we got to do one thing with our dimension right now, and that is we just got to make sure it's in the right spot. So we're going to select the dimension up here as far as sketch dimension. We're going to select the midpoint, and honestly, any of these corners will work. But I'm going to go top corner. Oh no, actually, I need to go top corner for this first. Top corner, either top corner. Select it and then slide to the left or slide to the right. And we're going to see some data. And that data is saying right now 200. And I need it to be 179. So 179 millimeters. Enter. Now let's move that up and put it in the right place. If I wanted to, just to make sure, I could check that one more time. So I'm still in the same tool by selecting those same 2 points. And then this time just sliding straight up to make sure that I'm in the middle of my piece. And you can see that mine's reading 150, and that's exactly right. The 150 is halfway, so that's going to be just perfect. All right, so now I've sketched my centerpiece, my nose, and I'm going to hit Finish Sketch. Now, remember we go 3D or want to extrude things, we want to go to the isometric view so you can see it happening. And we want to go to Extrude, which is right next to Create Sketch. We want to select that nose. We want to click and drag it that way so we know which way we're going. It says we're going positive. And this is going to be 100. He's got a long nose like Pinocchio. I'm not sure if he's been telling fibs or not. Anyway, with that being said, now we have our eyeballs all done and the nose. We're moving right on to the mouth. And the mouth is, once again, flat. We're drawing it first, so we're going to go to the front of our cube. And we're kind of down here somewhere, and it doesn't really matter where we start, but we're just going to put it on there. So we're going to go Create Sketch. We're going to select that face again. And this time that we're going to draw, we are not going to use any of the tools that we've been using so far. This is going to be a line. That top part's going to be a line. So we're going to select that line, and we're going to end up placing that line, honestly, anywhere we can kind of set that in. And I'm just going to kind of click on this first little, I guess, set of grid squares, the 5 in. Right on that little point. It doesn't matter. We'll move it later, so if you get it close, it's okay. Select it. We're going to slide to the right. This is where it's saying, hey, how big do we want it? And this is the callout. It says 220 millimeters. So I'm going to type in 220, and I'm going to hit Enter. Now, the next thing that I want to do is I want to make sure that this thing is in the correct place. And one of the things I have to figure out here is, what's the difference of 220 versus 300? So 300 minus 220 is 80. And I got to divide it in half because I need the same amount on both sides. So 80 divided in half is 40. So I need 40 from the edge. So coming in here, I'm going to use my sketch dimension, select the endpoint. I'm going to scroll a little bit so I can find either this endpoint or this endpoint. Either one will work. And I want to go straight down or I want to go straight up. And I'm going to drop that And that's where I need to type in 40 or 40 millimeters and hit enter. Now we're in the middle. The next thing we need to do is find out how far down that is, and that's going to be 250. So same idea, we're in the sketch dimension, selecting the top, or the line here in the edge, selecting the top, one of the top 2 points, and then moving to the left or right, and then dropping that. This should be 250 millimeters. And I'm going to be honest, I got really lucky because I wasn't trying to put it there, but mine's already there. So if it didn't quite want it to be, I can put 250 and change that, but mine was already in that spot anyway. Now we have that top part of our mouth done, all right? Now we get to the bottom part. In this bottom part, we're going to learn a new type of line. So we're going to try to sketch a line type that is a construction line. It's over here. So we're going to be in the line tool first. Make sure you select that line tool. Make sure you come over here and select construction. And what we're going to do is we're going to go to the midpoint. If you zoom in a little bit, you're going to be able to see this, but mine will snap into it right away. It kind of gives it a X, and that's where our midpoint is that way. The little triangle shows up there too. All right. And then I want to click on that X, and I want to slide straight down. Notice this is coming in broken because it's like a hidden line. It's not actually there. It's not going to show up. It's just more for references purposes. In SketchUp, this used to be a tape measure tool that would lay down guidelines, but it's pretty much a guideline. We're calling it construction line here in Fusion 360. This width, or the top bottom of the mouth, is 50 millimeters. So 50 is going to be our entry there. All right. And all we get is a point down here. Now, one of the things that's important about doing this is when we go and select that construction line, make sure you deselect it when you want to draw again the correct line. All right. So I've already deselected. You can see it's not highlighted anymore. And now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create. Go down here and select create an arc. And I'll be honest, I think you use a way to pin these things there to it at the same time. On the right-hand side, you can pin the toolbar if you want it to be showing up on the right-hand side. But I want to have that 3-point arc. Select it. I want to start with the first point on the left-hand edge or right-hand edge. Click. I'm going to slide across to the next point. Click. And then I'm going to slide down and hover over that last point we made with the construction line. And click one more time. And there we go. Now we got the basics of the outside of our mouth. And we're going to finish that sketch. And that's going to be the end of this video. Hope everything's going well. Hope we're learning this relatively easy in Fusion 360. Eventually here I'm going to get to the timeline, which I haven't talked about at all yet. At the same time, hopefully everything's going smooth. Good luck.